If you run a law firm, you know it's a business, at least you should, meaning you know that you're going to need metrics. And flying blind is exactly how you crash. Now, maybe as a law firm owner, you hate math. That's cool. I love math. So that's why I'm here to help you today. So even if numbers aren't your thing, you know you've got to track something. The real question is, which metrics actually matter? So today I'm going to show you the single most important metric for your law firm's growth. We call it new business. Some people call it projected revenue. I call it, though, your early warning system, because when you dial it in, we'll give you all kinds of data and heads up to what's going on. Kind of like driving cross country with a GPS instead of randomly following the stars and seeing where are we going. You'll see exactly where your next revenue is going to be coming from, where your next client is coming from, and you can use this to steer your law firm to the next level. So look, back in 2019, 2 years after Tracy and I started Zihmer Law Firm, I decided to track this. That means for 2017 and 18, we did not track it. It was like turning the lights on in a dark room. Suddenly we could see like 3 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps in front of us. That's how we went from hustling and busting our butts month after month after month to confidently planning our next moves. In this video, I'm going to show you to do the same thing. Cool. So in simple terms, every time a person engages your law firm for a matter, a few things happen, right? They put their trust in you. That's why they're going to do this. They're hoping for some kind of an outcome that you can deliver. You are going to get paid for this endeavor, at least hopefully. And then this happens every time. So this is a repeatable thing. Two big questions become, how will you go about the work, right? Like, what do you have to do? What is involved? How are you going to do it? How will your team handle this? Like, what will you be doing to do the work? And then another question comes up. And what kind of revenue will this bring your law firm? The reason this is important is that most law firm owners track revenue at the end of the month, right? They go into the CRM, they send all the invoices for what they did, and they tally it up. That's your total revenue, right? Pretty much every one of us does this. It's not that this is wrong or you should stop. I want to highlight the difference, right? So everybody goes in and they tally it up. This was our revenue for the month. And some of the bigger firms or places that are more like the hourly, right? They'll even reduce it down. Well, we can't charge for that. Write it off. Well, this was a learning experience for the associate, or my paralegal took 10 hours. I can only charge the client for 2. Right? This is the inherent problem in the hourly world, because you say you did this, and then you only bill the client here. A lot of law firms that are like really good, and then a lot of the new CRMs will actually track for us revenue collected, meaning, yes, we did this much work and we sent invoices, but where are we from terms of like how much money are we actually making, right? That's what gets collected. Just because you did the work, if you don't have it in trust or you didn't take prepayment for it, if you're getting paid later, did they pay net 30, net 60, 90? Did they just kind of blow you off? You can see then doing the work and what gets collected, those are different numbers. But you only know these 2 sets of numbers after you did the work. You don't know this day 1, you know this at day 30. And the reality takes a couple of days for everybody to put their time in, for everything to get approved. Realistically, you don't know this then until 5 days, 7 days, 10 days after the end of the month. This is problematic for forecasting. So new business tracking then is about putting a dollar amount on the matter when they first engage, so we can use this value to forecast what we're going to be doing and when at our law firm. And this is not necessarily just like a retainer. So if you're in the hourly world, this is not necessarily the retainer. This is based on what you've agreed to do for them and they want you to do. What is that worth? And what do you think you're going to be charging? In the flat fee world, right, typically this is built into our proposals. I'm going to do an estate plan for $7,500. Well, we know we're going to make $7,500 by the time we're done. What's crazy is when we know this though up front on day 1 and not at day 30 or 40, we can use this to start forecasting then, right, what we're going to do and when. This separates the pack. See, new business is all about what we will forward be doing, not looking back historically what we have done. Very different concepts. Most law firms only look backwards. And I'm not saying to stop that. That has its place. It's important. We have to invoice. We need to see what work did we actually do and how much of that did we collect. But we want to start adding in now the forward looking of new business tracking. And we are required then to look at this every time somebody engages our firms. So why is tracking this forward-looking new business metric so important? Every month, you are all working really hard. You get to the end and you tally up your invoices. Let's say they're $50,000 of invoices, right? Some months they're $45,000, some months are $55,000, but they average out to $50,000 every month. And across the year, that's $600,000 in revenue. That's a nice law firm. You're doing a lot of things right. Let's say your team's like, you're busy, you're at capacity. I'm not saying you're like drowning in it, but you're definitely not like twiddling your thumbs looking for work. And let's just say this hypothetical team, it's you, an admin, and a paralegal. Well, we take the total revenue divided by the employees, we see revenue per employee is $200,000. And every time you look at someone on your team, including like yourself, you are working hard. In fact, it is like a little bit crazy, not too crazy. Clients aren't really like mad, but you always have like the next things just lined up ready to go. To be fair, it might even feel like never ending, right? Which as a business owner, law firm owner, that's good and bad. End of the month comes and it was a $50,000 month. You pay everyone, money for marketing and other expenses. You're doing pretty well yourself. So again, it's not broken by any means. I want to ask a question. Should you hire somebody? What would growth look like? This is where that starts to get hard to answer. The reason it's hard to answer is because we're only looking backwards at what we've done and we're not looking forwards. So this is how new business could help. Let's say when we start tracking our new business each month, we realize that we're bringing in $75,000 of revenue every month. Holy cow. That means we're only doing 2/3 of the work available, right? 75 comes in, we're doing 50. So if you hired somebody now, you could start doing $75,000 of revenue per month, $25,000 more, which means you can net revenue of $300,000 per year. Crazier. What if you improved your systems and you got better and more efficient and effective? Your existing team might be able to do $75,000 per month and not even hire somebody new. But you're never going to know this if you're not tracking new business. Because revenue billed and collected does not tell this story. This story can only be told with new business. Plus, there is now a downside to all of this. You're creating a growing backlog of $25,000 worth of work every month. So, month one, you bring in $75,000 work, you do $50,000, and you have a backlog of $25,000. Month two, you bring in 75, you do 50, backlog is now 50,000 because it adds. Month three, you bring in 75, you do 50, backlog's at 75,000. You can literally not even get a client for a month and you'd still be busy. Again, that can be nice to get some pushing, but this is where that pressure is coming from. This is why it feels like, what is going on? Why does it feel kind of crazy? It's because it is. And this is why law firms feel crushed. They are. They just don't know what's crushing them. And new business will so often tell the story of the details that revenue collected and revenue billed does not. Like, I know as a law firm owner, you have a hard job to do. I get it. Quite literally, I'm here with Tracy every day. A lot of law firm owners don't know what to track. So hopefully today, you learned a little bit about what to track, new business, sometimes called projected revenue, and why it is so important for your law firm. New business tracking is like this GPS for your law firm. It lets us look forward to where we are going. We might like the answer, and we might not. But once we know the truth of where we're going, we can work to change it if we need to. When you can't change the course of a law firm when you don't actually know where you're going. And I want to be upfront with you. We did not do this for 2 years. When we started in 2017, we didn't do this. In 2018, we didn't do this. We did not start tracking this until July of 2019. It was an aha moment for sure. It was a total game changer and it reduced a lot of stress and it took away so many unknowns. It was like moving from like playing checkers to playing chess. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this.